Hi, I'm Jessica Ardeal with the Professional Healers Institute. Thank you for tuning in to crack the code of your body's intelligence, because today's featured health expert travels the world educating individuals on how to do just that. He is the director of the Psych K Center International. He is the Psych K Health and Wellbeing Program Director, an osteopathic physician. The list goes on. I'm so pleased that you're here. Thank you, Duccio Locati. Welcome.
Thank you, Jessica. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for everything that you are doing to help people to be more aware and conscious.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That means a lot. You know, you took time out of your jam-packed touring schedule to be on the panel today, and I'm very grateful. You're a Psych K instructor, and we're definitely going to get into that. I love Psych K, which is one of the reasons I wanted to reach out and share your story. So could we rewind time a little bit, Duccio, and would you mind sharing your first experiences with muscle testing and how that made a difference for you?
Yeah, thank you, Jessica. So, like you said, I am originally an osteopath before dedicating my life 100% to Psyche, and I knew for sure muscle testing when I was in my osteopathic practice, but I really never tuned into it. I thought, okay, it's not so good. We can manipulate it. So it was not something that I really liked, and I decided not to go too much into the muscle testing and kinesiology. But once in 2007, after reading Bruce Lipton's book, The Biology of Belief, that I suggest to everybody, at the end of the book, he mentioned this methodology that's called Psyche, and my whole system was completely 100% drawn to this word and drawn to whatever was Psyche, even if I had no idea of what it was about. And in Psyche, there is muscle testing. So when I went to the class, I learned the whole procedure on how to work with our subconscious mind, with our wisdom, and how to change subconscious beliefs, because this is the purpose, one of the purposes of Psyche. And to do that, to be able to transform subconscious beliefs, to be able to dialogue with all the levels of our mind that are the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and what we call superconscious mind, that's our wisdom, our soul, but you can call it in the way you want. The muscle testing is the best way, is the simplest way, is the most direct way to do that. And magically, with Psyche, I made peace with the muscle testing because I saw it worked. I saw it's a very important piece of the Psyche methodology to really go through the process that's called balance. And so from that moment on, muscle testing became a very good friend of mine.
Oh, wow. Thank you for sharing that and being really honest about your first impression with it too. Yeah. You know, I think muscle testing can be a controversial topic and even sometimes confusing for people. It's really an experiential process if you're open to trying it, and it fits in with so many different modalities. So Duccio, tell us more about Psyche, how muscle testing, and in my opinion, it kind of helps to bypass the conscious mind that can keep us blocked. So tell us more from your observation deck there.
Yes, Jessica, it's also fun how really muscle testing can reveal us aspect of us that we don't know, because with Psyche we work with subconscious beliefs, so beliefs that are under the level of our consciousness. So even if consciously I may keep telling myself stories about, yes, I love myself, I'm great, I have a great self-esteem, I am a good human being, and I keep telling these stories with my conscious mind, this doesn't mean that I have the same belief at the subconscious level. So maybe even if I tell myself with my conscious mind, I love myself, at the subconscious level, I could have a very different or completely opposite belief, like I hate myself. And here, the muscle testing plays a very important part because it will help me to understand if at the subconscious level I really love myself or if the reality is something different. Also because our conscious mind is just 5% of our consciousness. Our subconscious mind is the remaining 95%. So if I hate myself with 95% of me, and if I love myself with 5% of me, it's easy to understand where my life will go, okay? Through hate, through difficulties. In this way, through a particular muscle test that we do in Psych-8 that's very gentle, that's very delicate, it's possible to detect the subconscious truth about our belief. So if I really do not love myself, through muscle testing, I will discover this, and this is very precious. But then this is only the initial part because, okay, once I know that subconsciously I do not love myself, okay, I have this awareness, but what can I do? And here the Psych-8 process goes on with all the protocol to integrate the new program, I love myself, in my subconscious mind, so that 100% of me will believe from that moment on that I love myself. And the muscle testing part is still an important part in the whole Psych-8 process because the Psych-8 process is a very safe process. It dialogue with all the levels of our mind. So the muscle testing is used to check if the goal that I have chosen, for example, I love myself, is safe and appropriate and good for me. And we will muscle test for this. We will muscle test with our subconscious mind to choose which is the best way to reach that goal. Because in Psych-8, there are many ways to integrate a different goal statement. And then we will use muscle testing to reach a whole, to find the best way on how to reach a whole brain state regarding the goal statement. So it's a very, very good and easy way to dialogue with our mind, to let our mind, every level of our mind, to help us to improve our life. But just to be clear, it's in Psych-8, it's not the muscle testing creating the change. It's the Psych-8 process. And muscle testing is a vital component in this process.
Thank you, Duccio. Absolutely. And it helps to pinpoint the exact specification the body, mind, subconscious needs to pinpoint for the conscious mind. You know, you spoke to that inner conflict piece that goes on and how we can bring resolve to that. And it doesn't involve the conscious mind, right? And so really being able to use the muscle testing to find out what exactly subconsciously the body mind needs. It's amazing. And it's amazing to experience the process and not have it make logical, conscious sense, but you feel the difference.
You feel the difference, exactly. There is a beautiful way in the Huna philosophy to express what you just said. There are 7 concepts in Huna philosophy, and one of them is pono, P-O-N-O. That means the reality, the effectiveness is the measure of truth. If something works, it's true for you, okay? So you don't need any more proofs. After a Psych-8 balance, you are not anymore the person you were before the Psych-8 balance, like you exactly said. That's why I really love Psych-8. I am dedicating my life to this beautiful methodology.
Duccio, could you speak a bit also to how it accesses the emotional intelligence and that component within us as well? You've touched a lot
Yeah.
on the mind pieces.
Yeah. Yes. Because at the beginning, Jessica, you said you talked about the intelligence of the body, and I was I would love to offer a different point of view, because when I was doing osteopathy, I used the same language. I really believed about the intelligence of the body, because the body, I really love the perfection of the body. That's why I also became an osteopath, to work with the body. That's an amazing machine. It's an amazing vehicle. And after learning Psyche, after working with myself at every level, from the more grounded aspects to the more spiritual ones, and I'm still in my growing process, and I think I will be in this process until the last day of my life. I would really offer the idea that it's not really about the intelligence of the body itself, of the wisdom of the body itself, but it's the wisdom of the mind. Because think about that. If now I would have just half of my body for a car accident or whatever, half of the body, do you think that my wisdom would be half or not?
No.
Exactly. That's it's not about the wisdom of the body. The body is a part of our self. That's really important. But in my perception, I'm not sharing absolute truth. I'm just sharing my perception. Okay, the body is an amazing vehicle for our mind, for our soul, for our spirit to experience life. Because think about our body. Our body is nearly 100% externally a sensory organ. The skin, okay, is a sensory organ. Eyes, sensory organ. Smell, auditory, taste. Nearly 100% of the surface of our body is a sensory organ to let our consciousness experience the three-dimensional life. Okay? So when we use muscle testing to discover important things about ourselves, that could be related to a belief that we have about ourselves, or to discover if there is any message regarding a condition that we are going through our life. Because in Psyche, for example, there is a protocol to look for messages related to maybe some difficult moments we go through in life, and we use muscle testing to dialogue with the highest part of our mind to get these messages. But here, in reality, we are not checking and asking and with the body to ask the body, please give me the wisdom. The body is the amazing vehicle that our mind uses to give us the messages. But the source of the message is our wisdom, mind, soul, whatever you want to call it. The body allows us, through muscle testing, to detect this message in a very easy way. In reality, it's really fun also on how we identify ourselves with our body. Think about Jessica, sorry, how many times we say my body, my body, my body, but we never say my body is crossing the room, my body is doing exercise. There we say I am crossing the room, I am doing exercise. So we are so we are so educated since the first day of our life to identify ourselves with our body, that finally we stress this concept, and we forget that we are, yes, also our body, but our essence is also way beyond that.
Thank you for sharing your perspective, Duccio. Speaking of that, perception is like 9/10 reality, right? So it's how you're looking at things and
Exactly.
things, and with utilizing Psych-K to clear the misperceptions of that deep feeling self, it's just such a profound profound process, like you said. And I wrote down, you said here, you know, I was going to ask what's the number one thing you want people to know about muscle testing, but I think it was really profound that you said you use muscle testing to discover important things about ourselves and to dialogue. And is there anything else you want to share with regard to what you want people to know about muscle testing? Because that was just brilliant. So
yeah, so thank you, Jessica. I think it's important to clarify how another aspect on how in Psych-K we use muscle testing, because like you pointed out, I have explained that we use muscle testing to dialogue with the different levels of our mind to understand which belief we have, which subconscious belief we have or we have not, and in case we do not have the subconscious belief that we want to integrate, we will integrate it. And in Psych-K, we do not use muscle testing to diagnose or to choose what's best for us from a menu, for example, or to check a food intolerance. Instead, we see, okay, you have this food intolerance. So is there any subconscious belief related to this food intolerance? Did anything happening to your life, maybe in your past, when you first when you were eating this food, maybe you experienced a conflict exactly in the same moment, your subconscious mind linked the food with that conflict, and from that moment, you became intolerant to that food. There is a way in Psych-K to discover if this happened, to transform the perception of the stressful or traumatic event that happened. And from that moment on, magically, the person is not anymore intolerant to that food because there is not anymore the link, okay? So again, we use muscle testing and the Psych-K procedure to discover if there is something related to the intolerance or whatever, but we never check or differ with muscle testing, okay, chicken is good for me, or meat is good for me, or vegetable is good for me. I think that the conscious mind is a very powerful mind and part of us that does this, and we need to have our authority in deciding. We grow taking the responsibility of our decisions. And for sure, we can balance with Psych-K, we can work with Psych-K to trust our decision with our self-confidence. And if sometimes we will make the wrong decision, perfect, it's a learning point. I will not make the same decision anymore. So just this clarification, I think it's important.
It's absolutely very important, discernment. And being first introduced to muscle testing, you know, what can and can't it do, so that we are looking at it as an accurate and a reliable method to access and dialogue with the body. Duccio, are there any stories you can share, perhaps maybe in classrooms, workshops, or even working with people one-on-one, where the first story that comes to mind?
About Oh, there are so many that now, and because it's my life is an ongoing story about myself, about really about many things that happened. Let me think about one. Okay, yes, there is one very nice example. I was working with a woman it was 3 or 4 years ago, and she came actually for kind of allergy intolerance to alcohol. And she really enjoyed alcohol. Not that she was not an alcoholic, but she just enjoying one glass of good wine. And she wasn't able because she had immediately skin reaction and the usual allergic reactions. So through Psych-K, we discovered that actually this apparent allergy, intolerance to wine was related to her relationship with her mother. So we did some psyche related that was related to her relationship to her brother. She also had to take an action about contacting her brother that they didn't hear each other since I think about 10 years. Okay. So one action step after the session was, please now call your brother, and if you have any chance, reach him and spend some time with him. That she did, and it was one of the most touching experience in her life. They cried like crazy, both of them. They completely had a reperception of their relationship. And really, after a few days, she was again able to drink wine because she disconnected the stressful or traumatic event that she experienced with her brother, and that was connected to wine. Okay. And as I shared with you, this is just one of the many very touching stories that I can share, because with Psyche, we can really work with our subconscious beliefs. And also, even more, the beauty of Psyche is that to solve the problem, we don't even have to know also consciously the origin of the problem, because our subconscious mind and our superconscious mind know perfectly the origin. Sometimes we need to consciously know it to solve it. Other times it's not even needed. We just need to set a goal about what we want. Another very touching story. I was in a class about 2 months ago teaching a basic workshop, and I was demonstrating on how to do a Psyche balance. The balance is the way in Psyche to change and integrate subconscious beliefs. And there is a way to do Psyche with ourselves, with self-muscle testing this way, because we do muscle testing with other people, but it's possible also to do self-muscle testing with ourselves. So I was demonstrating the Psyche process in self-muscle testing to show participants on how to do them with themselves. And I was thinking about, okay, what's a belief that I can change? And immediately an idea came, and it was, okay, I deeply honor my father and my mother. And really, Jessica, you can imagine how many balances I've already done with the relationship with my father and my mother because I really love them. I have always loved them a lot. And like every human being, I believe that I've chosen them to go through a growth process. So I had many things to balance in my relationship with my parents. So this came, and during the balance, that was a powerful balance, but I didn't expect at all to feel what I felt. That was, I deeply respect my mother and my father. I saw during the balance that in the moment of my conception, okay, there was stress between my mother and my father, okay? And during the balance, this stress was transformed because I was conceived in a moment of stress. So in that moment, that memory of stress remained in my system until 2 months ago. And I was not aware of this, okay? So the Psyche process and the muscle testing allowed me to discover this and to transform this and to be even a happier person, because I was already super happy, and oh my God, I'm grateful of all my life, every single moment. But after that, I reached even another level. So, okay, this is maybe just a couple, even if I have thousands.
Thank you. Absolutely. And it's almost, speechless hearing, like you said, that magical aspect. It just seems magical how things come together. But what it does is it expands our awareness so that we can take more things into consideration and recompute then our point of view and our perspective and where we're coming from. So thank you for sharing that personal story for you. That's huge. And I'm wondering, you know, for anyone else that's looking to experience some different, I was going to say breakthroughs, clearings, whatever language you want to use, but really get to the truth of their own self. How can people reach out and connect with Psyche, with you, and learn more and experience more?
Thank you, Jessica. The best way to learn about Psyche, both about if you're interested in a session or in a workshop, in the workshop you learn how to do Psyche with other people and with yourself, is to go to www.psyche.com. Okay, and there you will see all the workshops all around the world that are taught by certified Psyche instructor that are very well prepared. You will get all around the world the same quality of training, and really the promise in every workshop is that on Sunday you would be able, the basic workshop, that the first step is a 3-day workshop. Okay, it starts usually on Friday and ends on Sunday. And the promise is really on Sunday, you will be able to work with Psyche, with other people and yourself. So on psyche.com, you will find all the information that you need. And for sure, you will find amazing instructors nearby you.
Thank you, Duccio. I appreciate that. So that's psychk.com. And also, I want to mention, Duccio, your website intrigued me so much, ieyes.org, because I went to an optometrist in Chicago who got my prescription with muscle testing with my eyes closed. And when I opened my eyes with the lenses he fit for me, it was like seeing a new world. And so I'm curious if you could share how he would always say the eye is the eye, the eye is the EYE.
Yeah.
Put that all together. Tell me more.
Thank you. Yeah, the name of my website is Eyes. That means the internal eyes that we have, because we are so used to see the life outside us, and to travel all around the world outside, but we are not educated to look inside, to look with our internal eyes, to travel inside. Okay, because sometimes we just don't know that's possible to do that. We just don't know how to do that. And other times we are just scared because we don't want to see the who we really are, our weaknesses, for sure our strength. We all love our strength and our abilities, but when it comes to, okay, let's see also what's not working, we don't like that. And so this inner journey with our inner eyes, in my opinion, is the most fascinating and beautiful and intriguing trip that we can take. Even if I really like you know, Jessica, I really love to travel a lot. I teach all around the world, and every single day my most important journey is the one inside me with my internal eyes. That's why I chose this thing.
It's beautiful. Thank you so much for everything you embody and bring to us to recognize our own body intelligence, body-mind intelligence, shall I say. Duccio, before we go, is there anything else you want to share?
Yes. I think there are different, we are 7.5 billions on this earth, and each person resonates with different methodologies, approach. So to the people who will listen to us, really doesn't matter if you prefer one methodology to another, Psyche, EFT, there are many, many beautiful approaches out there. Just choose one that you resonate with and use it, and start to really work with yourself, and see the beauty of life and be at service. Just that.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining us. We'll say bye for now. Take care.
Thank you. Bye. Bye-bye.